We're ready, and I'm
Ready to go?
We're ready?
Yep.
We live?
We're up.
Oh, hello, everybody. Yay, welcome. I would love for everybody to hopefully, because they're showing up to a meeting, and it's kind of weird when you're a presenter and you've got people with their cameras off. So try to turn your cameras on, even if you're in your robe. We don't care. We won't judge you. So welcome back to our Freedom Builders Mastermind. Today, we've got Judy and Amber are going to be helping us through some questions that we've received in our group. So I'm going to kick it off with Coach Judy, Judy Forden, and she's going to be talking about, is real estate a long-term career for me? Because I think sometimes we get into the business and we do it part-time or whatever, and we just don't know if it's the right move for us. So Miss Judy, you are up. Welcome.
Yes, I hear this a lot. And I've seen people start at part-time, and we all know how that struggle can go. So one of the things that I wrote down after Brandon asked me to present this is, I really want you to think about why you got into the business. So I want everybody to write down, why did they get into the business in the first place? For me, I think I said this on one of the other ones, but is that I didn't want to be in real estate. In fact, I started dating my husband when I was 15 years old, still like him. And my in-laws were brokers. And I remember as a young teenager sitting down at the kitchen table, having dinner, and them doing all of their crazy that they were doing as brokers and managing their agents and managing their deals. And I thought, who in the hell would ever want to be a real estate agent? I would never do that, ever. Fast forward, they asked me to assist them, and I fell in love with real estate. Now, I want you all again to look at, why did you get into real estate? Mine was happenstance. But once I learned how much I loved it, then I had my reasons. So I think it's really important for you to think about, why did you do it? And is that still in place for you? If it's not, if your original reason for not getting into real estate isn't there, ask yourself what is. Because what I know from being in real estate, watching, I was just talking to someone back from Michigan, Tina, and do you remember Layla Abood?
I do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. She's in her 80s, and this woman is still selling real estate.
Kill me now.
I know, right? No, she's not doing it at the level we are, but because she's been in it so long, she just has business coming to her, right? So there's that ability for, when I think about Layla, like I've known Layla, since I was 15, because she was working at my in-laws brokerage. And it was one of those where, she started out for a circumstance, she did it, and she was in it full time. She was doing it. She was the bread earner of her business, and she made it. What I loved about a lot of the people that I was around is they treated their business like a business. Everybody came into the office at a certain time. Everybody did their routine. Some people made calls. Some people went out and had lunch with people, but they had a real business sense of what real estate was. And these are people that are still in the business. Now, I'm like you, Tina. I don't want to do this when I'm 80, and it's coming quicker as I'm each year. Okay, so I'd like for you guys, for anybody who's willing to share, why did you get into real estate?
Unmute yourselves.
Yeah, unmute yourselves. Let's have a little participation. Who here would like to share, why did you get into real estate?
Hi, Judy. Hi, Tina.
Hi.
So I come from a social worker background. So just loving people, loving to help people is my thing. I used to be in the Red Cross. And then when I got married, I stopped everything. I promoted myself to be a housewife. And then
which is
my kids,
honorable, yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And then when my kids got a little older, I just opened my own business. I had a store, International Sweets and Chocolate. And it was right in between two big brokerages in my town. And I always had all these agents ask me for chocolate bouquets, chocolate arrangements, and they would come and talk to me about real estate. And it sounded so much fun. And when COVID hit, I shut down my business and I went and I got my real estate license, and I love it.
Great. So for Sarah, so you can go and what I would suggest is in the tough times, because we're all going to have tough times in real estate, whether it's a deal, whether it's a season, whatever it might be. I want you to draw into that because that's what's going to make you the best agent. So I would write down those words, Sarah, write down what's important to you of why you got into the business. So when things do get tough, the moments you have that to remind you, okay, I can handle this tough moment because I care and there's going to be another person that I'm going to be able to help.
Agreed. Got it.
You. Okay, good. All right. Who else wants to share? Who else wants to share why they got into real estate? What was important to you? And guys, don't be shy to say it was for the money. So Sarah has a very heartfelt, for me, it was the money. Don't be ashamed of that.
You want to come up here,
We've got
Paul?
somebody here local. You can hear.
Let me see. Hold on.
Can you hear me from there?
We can hear you.
So, back in 1995, I was in the biomedical field in Massachusetts and owned a couple of Dunkin' Donuts franchises. So my brother and I sold those, and Dunkin' Donuts at the time, now Dunkin', conned me into coming to North Carolina, the franchise with them. So I bribed my wife to join me. And when I got here, the business is different in North Carolina, and I decided not to do it. So now I was away from my medical contacts that were in Massachusetts, and I didn't have any way to generate income. So I went to a career night with HP&W, Better Homes and Gardens at the time, met a great broker, Minnie Carroll, and got my real estate career going. Simply because she was a great mentor to me, as was her son Rodney at the time. So really it came down to needing to eat and to pay tuition for my daughter who was going to private school.
Great. And your name is?
Paul Smith.
Paul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah, Paul, so thank you for sharing that, because again, that was one of the things that I wrote down. As some of you who have seen me a couple times on here, I'm restarting my real estate career, and I'm doing it in a state where the only people I know are real estate agents, because I was running a coaching company. So with real estate, that is something, so when we talk about how it can be a long-term career, Paul is showing us that you're having this career can go with you no matter where you go. Now, hopefully you guys all stay put where you're at, but as we all know, we move, circumstances happen. You might live in Cary, North Carolina for the summer, and even though your winters are a lot nicer than here in Utah, you might decide to have a place in Arizona or Florida. Now, unless you're at retirement age, that is something that you could get dually licensed, and you could work in both places, have a team, have something set up in Florida. So the thing with real estate, it's long-term in so many reasons. It's long-term because we have the love of helping, like Sarah said. For Paul, it's long-term. For those of us who are in it for the money, for making our livelihood, it's just a place where we can decide what we want to do. Now, there's a caveat to that. We get to decide, and it's all out there for us. But who here has fallen victim to not doing what they're supposed to do and not hitting the goals they're supposed to, or that they want to? Yeah, me too. Okay. So that is the part that you have to control. Real estate can be long-term. We've given some examples of people who starting fresh in new areas, and it works and they're doing a great business. And then we've had some examples of people now that are in their 80s that are still doing it because, gosh, is that not long-term or what? Right? Okay. So who else want one more share of why did you get into real estate? Do we have a young either mother or father who has young children? and they're working their schedules around their kids. Or had done that in the past.
Alexis, unmute
Montrose.
yourself. You have a baby in your hand.
Oh, is there a baby in the room? Oh, I'm so jealous.
So cute. So cute.
Okay,
Hi, how are y'all?
good.
Yeah, I
Oh,
started when
look
I
at-
was 19. So yeah, I say I got into it, I guess, for the money, but I guess to be able to give them a good life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Mhm.
tell me right now, you're in the thick of it. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
As being in the thick of it, tell me how you're looking at it long term. How are you thinking long term? You're in the thick with the babies, and then how you know where you plan to go with it.
Long term, it's helping me realize that the possibilities are limitless for what I can do since I am so young. Hopefully building an empire for myself and for my kids to be able to pass down to them.
Oh, I just got chills.
That's my long term, is to pass them down something good.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good. And I'd like to back that up. So Alexis, one of the things that I can tell you is I've coached a lot of people that are in your position at some, with kids. I have one gal that I coached in particular that I talk about a lot. Her name is Erin here in Utah. Just happened I used to coach her from here. And when she first came into my schedule, she had 4 young children and 4 babies. And she was married. Her husband his income wasn't what they needed. So she was really the bread earner. And so when she came into my schedule, she was frazzled because she felt like she wasn't doing what she needed for her children. She wasn't doing what she needed for her business. And she was like all over the place.
Mom guilt and the mom boss guilt.
Yeah, exactly. So what we did is we set her a schedule like no one else's. She wanted to be able to be with her children in the morning, give them breakfast, take them to school, have those conversations in the car, go to work, be able to the kids get picked up early here in Utah at like 2 or 2:30 or something crazy like that. So we had this schedule. So her schedule for work was 10 a.m. because she knew she could be there at 10 a.m. till 2. So how many hours is that? 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 4 hours. 4 hours a day. Guess how much she was earning as a 4-hour a day real estate agent without a team? $450,000. And that was 10 years ago.
She was efficient.
We made her so efficient that everybody thought she was a bitch because she couldn't talk to anybody. She didn't have time for that unless she had it scheduled.
Right.
Okay. So now fast forward, her twins, the babies, are now 16, and she's now running her business differently. So when we think about long term, no matter what your circumstances are today, work where you're at, because your circumstances are going to change, sometimes for the good, sometimes for the bad, and then it goes back to the good. Work in those circumstances. Think smart about what you have so you can do what you can in the time that you have. Because if Erin can earn $450,000 in 4 hours a day, so can you. Long term, still in it. She was having the time of her life because she was being the mom she wanted to be, earning the money, and now she's earning closer to $1 million, because remember, there's going to be limits as you have a younger family or some other circumstances. Maybe like for me, you have older parents and you had to care for them, and that takes some time. So there's going to be these fluxes, but if you are very aware of where you're at, what you need to do right now to get the best that you can get and be the best that you can be, then all of it can happen, and you can stay in it, and long term just be one of the winners. Okay, so thank you for everybody who shared. Anybody have any questions? I think I don't want to go over too much of my time. Any questions? Okay, remember, your today doesn't have to look the same as mine or Tina's or Alexis is. It's going to change and all of it will work as long as you're very cognizant of where you're at and what you need to do to make it happen. Okay, that's it.
Judy, that's so good. I hope you guys took a lot out of that. And I think for me, it's like what I took out of it is having this license for me and being able to be in real estate. It's so versatile. And I always tell our agents, like, you know, I want to push them because sometimes they get into it and they don't put the effort in that they could just to do that 5 years or 6 years of like hardcore, unbalanced, crazy life, be efficient because you can build your empire. And we were just looking at what people made the other day just on Indeed. And, you know, when you're looking at scientists and, you know, engineering jobs, and you're looking at all these jobs and they're making 60 to 80 grand a year. And we're expecting the new agents on our team to make 60 to 80 grand and then 100 and then 200 and then up to $400,000 a year or more. Like, it's such an amazing opportunity to make that kind of money, to build the life that you want, right? If you're smart with your money, once you build it, so you're putting the time, then invest it right, and then you can pretty much do what you want when you want. So yeah, so I love real estate for that. So thanks, Miss Judy. I see some new faces on here. I want to say, like, who is brand new in our group? I know Nada from Canada. Welcome, our first Canadian Freedom Builder. Woo!
Thank you, Judy. That was great. Thank you so much.
Yep. So she is new with us, and she's going to be our leader in Canada. She's going to take over all of Canada.
Oh my goodness. That just made my weekend. Let's get started.
Let's get started. Let's take it over. So welcome, Nada. And anybody else here new, just unmute yourself and
Hey,
mention.
Tina, from New York.
Effie, hi.
Hi.
She has double.
Beverly from
I
Michigan.
have double pneumonia, so I've been in bed all week. I was in the hospital, but anyway, really glad that I could log on this morning.
Well, welcome. And I know Effie, she's a future freedom builder. She's coming.
I am.
She is. So thank you. All right, well, let's move to our next wonderful, amazing freedom builder, Miss Amber Harvalius. I should be able to say this. I'm Greek, and your husband's Greek. I have Javiadas in my family. How do you guys say your last name?
Harveyus. The L is silent. I'm sure Greek people roll the L, but
Harveyus. Yeah, because my Emmanuel Javiadas is, and it's almost all like that. And I want to say it that way, but it's not. That's not how you say it.
That's what my husband. So it's Stephen Emmanuel Harveyus.
Harveyus.
Emmanuel.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. And it's Emmanuel. Yeah, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
So Miss Amber, you're thriving in a market outside of the Triangle. And I'll let you kind of share. She's runs a great team. They do over 200 transactions per year. And so we wanted her to just talk about, you know, in order for agents to succeed, especially now, that they need to be experts in their environment. They need to know about the amazing places in their towns, so they can gain confidence in speaking about it. So you're going to talk about that subject today. So the floor is yours, my lady.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to see all the new faces today. I wanted to preface this and just saying that please know that I moved here in 2008. So if you have lived where you are doing business, you can definitely take this and run with this a lot quicker than I did. But I think the first thing is you have to figure out who is it that you are, where are the places that you're going, and monetize it. So I moved here. I didn't know a single person. I didn't have a sphere. I didn't have a database. And all of a sudden I wanted to sell real estate. Well, who do you sell real estate to, right? You don't know the area. You don't know people. So I had to quickly ask myself these questions. Who am I going to relate to? Where are the places that I'm already going? Who are the people that I could go out and bless today? Like where are the restaurants? Where are the coffee shops that I'm already going to? And what could I do to help them? What are my favorite restaurants? What gym am I going to? What parks am I going to? Now, as an established business owner, I could sit here and tell you instantly like who my avatar is. You know, I know it's women's, families, and business owners from 28 to 55. But as you're starting out, and if you don't have this database created or you don't have a sphere, you really just need to create one where you're already going. And to me, I like to lead generate in a way that makes me feel fun and fulfilled and makes me feel like I'm giving back to others. That is what gets me up and gets me going every day. If you were to ask me, like, why do I do real estate? It's because I love to bless other people. So, when I was a new agent, I would ask myself, and I recently shared an old post which was like back from 2009, who am I going to get up and go bless today? And oftentimes that just means you need to wear a smile wherever it is that you go and connect with people. You need to make people feel welcomed to you. You need to put out like positive vibes and positive energy to like attract them to you. And when they start seeing your face and when they start interacting with you and you're seeing the same people because you're going to the same places, you build upon it. So now the things that we do to build our business and or to lead generate are definitely a lot more structured than what I once was. But I think you have to first start out by asking yourself these questions. Where are you going frequently? What do you love about your area? What are some favorite restaurants that you would like to go to? What are some features or outdoor parks that you would like to attend? Where are some events that you would like to show up and or be a sponsor of? And or if you have children, like what are some children events that you need to go to? And then you need to create what I call my little tribe around it. So what we do purposefully on a monthly basis is do VIP business drop-offs to businesses that we're already attending. So I now take like a little goodie to, let's say, a little clothing store or a new restaurant or a new coffee shop. I take them a little goodie with my business card in it. But in return, what I do is I go to that coffee shop, I bring their cute little coffee cup and take a picture and post it on my social media because I can relate to them. They're a new business just getting started. I was once a new business just getting started. Well, my local organic social media now has over 15,000 followers. So I can now all of a sudden get them in front of my people, which are already probably their people. So it just gives them exposure. And we also do lots of giveaways and lots of fundraising things where we'll buy gifts and giveaways from local businesses. Well, all of a sudden I'm posting them again. I'm posting them on my social media. Hey, we're doing a giveaway for this little boutique. Oftentimes the people in our sphere already go to that boutique or want to go to that boutique. And all of a sudden it just gives them that much more exposure again. So it becomes such a fun way to lead generate. It becomes a way that most people would consider marketing, but to us, because we've grown it so much, it's really like our contact to contact sport. Some of my girls are at what's called Roar today, which is a women's empowerment event, which is a lot of women business owners and women in the community that just want to be empowered. And when you go and you align with people like that, you will make so many deep connections instantly because you already have something in common. And all of a sudden, real estate is a contact sport. When you're making connections with people and when you're doing things that other people want to be doing, all of a sudden you already have a relationship established by just having a common bond. And it becomes a lot easier to grow your sphere that way. Just to let you know, Alamance County is only 175,000 people. I know a lot of the larger markets that are on this call are 1 million plus. So how do you find your little tribe inside the big environment that you're in? And I think you do it just the same. I'm sure you go to the very same coffee shops, you shop probably the same exact stores. Your kids are probably in soccer, lacrosse, football, basketball. So what we do now is we actually make who we are and what we do, and it's part of our mission, vision, and values. We're all about women, families, giving back to the community, giving back to children, and giving back to business owners. We now have that as part of our listing presentation and our buyer presentation. And I ask my clients, if there's ever a need in the community, please bring it to us. And sometimes I don't even have to ask anymore because people see us giving back and doing so much for the community. Things that we do in the community to help the community needs would be like schools right now in our area. They're very low staffed. Most of the teachers are not even able to take their own lunches. So we often do duty-free lunch where we go in, cover lunch for the teachers. Imagine what that does to a teacher. So all of a sudden we're being exposed to a whole school of teachers that we're helping out so they can go have lunch one day. That's huge. It may not seem like a big thing to do, but to do that, all of a sudden you've created relationships with 15 or 20 people that are now going to refer you business. Because if you're doing stuff like that, you're connecting with people on a soulful level, which is what I love to do. It's just who I am. And all of a sudden, you know, if somebody thinks real estate, they are going to think you. You know, I know Zig Ziglar has the quote, if you have enough other people get what they want in life, like you will get what you want too. And that's kind of the value system that I've ingrained in my business. So every day we're constantly just looking for people or businesses or women or children that we can help in some way, and either giving their businesses exposure, giving, you know, making a purchase and giving it away, you know, to our sphere and database. So what we've really created is a little friendly tribe of business owners that also align with our sphere, and how do we bring them together, which in turn helps our business as well. So it's a beautiful, fun thing to do. And it's a fun way to lead generate. It doesn't, you know, doesn't feel like picking up the phone and calling people. It's like, what can I go out and do today? Who are the businesses that I can go visit? Who can I put on my social media? Like, what's a fun little dress I can put on that says, hey, I got this at Sweet Caroline's Boutique, you know? And it just helps people, because oftentimes the people that start businesses in a smaller town don't yet have that exposure. So it's just a way to give back to people.
I love that, Amber. That is so amazing. I realize you and I moved here at the same time. I did
Yeah.
nothing of the sort like that you did. So
Yeah.
it just proves like
It's because we're just a little different. Our geniuses are different.
no, I love it. I mean, just the fact that you're a connector. You're like, I'm going to go meet the people. I'm going to go love on the people. And I didn't even think of that. Like half this stuff, I'm like, write that down, Allison. And I see her like writing it down. But again, that's just so great, because I think a lot of agents get into the business and they are connectors. They are relational, you know, and this business is hard when, you know, sometimes it's a little cutthroat. So,
Yeah.
and you're like, how do I build it? But what questions do we have for Amber? I mean, she's a marketing pro. Nada, just chime in or raise your hand if we've got too many people jumping in. Go ahead, Miss Nada.
Amber? Hi, Amber. I'm new to EXP. I'm from Canada,
Welcome.
and I'm thinking about so many things. You know, I used to work for a big financial corporation for 26 years, and we used to do, you know, gloves and hats for Christmas, and we'd give them away, things like that. So I was part of that. So getting into what you said about doing baskets and such, I go to 2 or 3 stores almost weekly. And now when you're talking, I'm thinking, my goodness, how could I set up a basket and do this? So for example, there's a pizza place that's extremely popular, literally down the street. I live in a little town, but I'm close to everything. So I'm thinking, so from A to Z, would I say, okay, go to the owner, he knows me well. I'll say, buy large pizza, 4 non-alcoholic drinks, put it in a jar. At the end of the week, I'd like to come in and pull out a name. They don't have to buy tickets. I'll pull out a name, but then part of that would be, it would be some sort of advertisement saying that I'm doing it. Would that be like what you're saying, for example?
So what we actually do is we'll go and like buy a gift and then advertise it on our social media, and we'll make people like, tag and share it. And when they do, they're entered into a drawing. So obviously, what does that do? It gets us exposed to their people. It helps us build our social media following. You know, I think what you're saying is a great way. You're going to capture a lot of people, but it's also a very limited window. You know, I would rather appear to the world of people that are already following us, so then we all of a sudden appear to their world of people that are not, you know, and on average, we'll get 50 to 100 new followers every time we do this. And then we know we have systems that are plugged into our social media that capture their information anyways. You know, so it's just a way. So then we buy the gift, and then we do a little giveaway, and then we give it away, and then we put that person on social media, and then all of a sudden they're sharing it on their social media again. So it's exposure for us, it grows our following, and then it's also exposure for that local business as well.
So what would you say the percentage is on getting a lead generated from something like that?
I would probably, so 80 to 85% of my business is sphere and past clients. So I can't really say like from this event, we got this person, but it gets us in front of people that we didn't know before.
Okay.
Either virtually on social media and or in person.
Okay, perfect.
By inviting them to our events.
Awesome. So when I put it on social media, to get it tabbed in through our platform that we use, for example, I was telling Tina I use Follow Up Boss instead of KV4. How would I get that started? Who would I talk to? Would I talk to someone in Canada saying I want it transitioning right into my follow-up boss to get their contact info? How would that work? How does that
So
work?
when we do posted ads within KV Core, it captures their information if they interact with the post or if they share
Okay.
the post.
Perfect.
Automatically, it goes right into your database and it'll
Okay.
say like Facebook boost lead.
Awesome. So I'll look into that. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I smell a training coming on.
Right.
Yeah.
Make a note of that, Brandon.
Clear.
Because that would be really helpful. And I think,
Yeah.
Nada, do you have a decent social media following yet? Or do you need to like kind of grow that already?
For me?
Yeah, do you have a decent Instagram or Facebook following?
It's decent. It's not like huge. I think my following, as you know, I left a team. And the team, when you have a team, for me, it was just that name, but we were just kind of under it. So my following was more about the team rather than branding myself. So I think by doing this, since I put out that I'm on EXP, I've gotten so many people even reposting some of my friends doing that. So I kind of like that feeling, and I'm good to, I think I might be like Amber, where you're going out and meeting people right away. I'm not scared to go into a business and saying, I'm here, I'm down the street, let's get started. I would love to do that and give back to the community, even if it costs me. You know, once one boss said to me years ago when I used to, we were in a certain company that we were doing, you have to spend money to make money. And I don't mind spending a little bit. I don't want to go broke, but I want to at least concentrate on 4 businesses that are in my area to grow. What? Oh my God, who's this? Oh, it's Nada. Oh yeah, she just lives down the street. Like, people know me from the area because I used to work at the bank in the area. And then I became a realtor. So I think that's what I would like to start doing. And as far as my sphere, I have about 200 and change in my sphere, friends, family, and people that have known me. So I've been sending out mass emails telling them of my change and anything that you need. I have templates made up and stuff. So far it's a good head start, you know, so.
We got very purposeful and intentional about this about 2 years ago. And we said, we're going to create ourselves a VIP list of clients and a VIP list of clients that are also business owners that we're already doing business with. And we are either going to interview them and put them on social media. We're going to pour into their business, spread their name to our past clients, invite them. We did a huge like VIP invite of a really nice event this year. And really what we want to do is make them feel like they're an extension and or a team member on our team. So even when they send us referrals, I think I've talked about this before, but even when they send us referrals, like, we do send them nice gifts. And if they send us 2 referrals in a year, we send them a nice gift. Nice gifts meaning like a Fleming's gift certificate, a nice steakhouse dinner. I've sent somebody like a little Louis Vuitton business card holder, like things that you would be like, holy crap, this is so nice. Somebody sent this to me. I didn't expect it. But when you do that, it makes them personally feel like they need to continue to send you business, but you're also helping their business. You're sending them referrals too, you know? So it becomes so much fun. And now we have just like past clients, like, reach out to us probably once a day. I have somebody, who do you use to get your hair done? Who do you use to paint? Who do you use to organize your house? And then all of a sudden you become a resource that they automatically reach back out to because they value and trust you.
I think it's great.
I love it. I love it. And I think also I wanted to add, like, you know, if you're on a team, there's no reason that you shouldn't have your own social media account, right? So you're growing that account. You have the team account, like we have Tina Call, we have Call Group, and then all of our agents have their own accounts and their own spheres, and you should be growing that. So if you are on a team right now and you don't have an account, I think you should start one, because you are the, you know, you are the show in your own movie. And, you know, I think that's important. And you can still put your team name on there, but if, you know, Nada leaves the team, obviously she can take that off, but she still has her own persona and her own business. So who else has a question for Amber? Or comment, or?
If I can just go
Yeah,
real quick.
please.
One of the reasons I thought this topic was a great one to discuss was also the flip side of this. The more you are connected with your local market, the more people you know, the more confident you are in the conversation you're having with your clients. So Nada, whatever the pizza shop guy's name is, Joe, John, whatever, Joe's Pizza. Joe's Pizza, you know Joe, but so in your conversation with someone that doesn't know the best pizza place in your town, you say, oh my gosh, I know Joe. Please tell him Nada sent you over there, and you know, I'll make sure you get a discount when you go, whatever it is.
Yes.
That gives you confidence to speak about your market, and the favorite things about my market can be everything from restaurants to the best shops, all the things that you're doing with them just gives you the ability to say, I know those people and they're my people, so I recommend my people to your people, and builds that trust piece of the know, like, and trust conversation that you're having with your clients.
And edifying.
Hold it. Who else has a question or a comment? Anyone?
I love that Nada said she was going to focus on 4. I'm sure in a lot of different places it can probably be overwhelming to focus on multiple businesses and all this. So I love the idea of starting small and working really for business owners and local and kind of branching out from there, because that's doable. It's manageable.
Absolutely. We did in our office, so obviously you all haven't seen our office, but in the front we had just this space. It's sort of like a living room, and we should push it a little bit more, but we thought if clients start closing in our office and they come in, all of the furniture and most of the furnishings in that space are curated from a local brand here called Steve & Shell, and they said, hey, if your clients want us to come out and do a free consultation, like a interior design consultation, we will do that if they spend a certain amount on the furniture. So it's sort of like a working showroom, you know, so you're always just sort of trying to, you know, showcase your local businesses. So yeah, I love it. I think you're a master at that, Amber. You're so good at like just connecting people and making them feel special and always shouting them out, which I think is so good. I don't think we do a great job of that yet, but I think that should be part of our plan too.
It's fun. It makes you want to get up and do it every day.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. Again, and it just proves you can build your business so many different ways. But what I love about Amber, it's like when you give her something, she just goes and takes action. She's an action taker, and she's very intentional about her day, very well thought out. And so it can just be, you know, some people say, oh, I don't want to prospect every day. You've made your job so fun because you've zeroed in on your strength with just connecting with people, but you're just doing it daily. So now your business becomes so consistent, and it's grown exponentially because you're not just waiting for the relationship to come to you, you're going out and making the relationship. And I think Amy Wienans was on, you know, a few weeks ago or whatever, a month ago, and she was talking about when she's at the Starbucks and she's like, hey, I'm Amy, you know, and she would just live at that Starbucks to go meet all these people. That is not me. But I mean, she's built this massive business. So I love that. Love. All right. Well, thank you for that contribution, Amber. I think I saw people taking a bunch of notes, and especially Alice Ann over there. So, all right. And then, so now we're going to move on to talking a little bit about EXP. So, you know, our competition is sort of heating up, and we've got a lot of different brokerages now that are coming into the fold. I don't know if you guys have heard about them, but you're starting to see this shift from away from the traditional brokerage almost to this cloud-based movement. And you're starting to hear a lot of things, you know, which we're going to go over. Oh, well, EXP it's just so big now. It's lost its momentum, and you know, we're the new thing in town, and we're a ground floor opportunity. So you're starting to see that with some other companies, you know, so, you know, I wanted to go through a little bit of that, and then also talking about Glenn Sanford coming back. I don't know if all of you know, but he's kind of come back for multiple reasons, but I think his passion is this company. We are an agent-led company because Glenn, our founder, is an agent who owned multiple Keller Williams offices. So he just came back to recalibrate the ship. He didn't love some of the direction that we were going in different departments. So I'm just so excited about all the things we have. But one of the first favorite things about EXP, which that's what I'm going to talk about today, and I want you guys to chime in. One of my favorite things is that literally for $85 a month, we were all able to basically use everything that EXP offers and run our business. We don't really have to outsource anything. We get all the technology that we want, all the tools, all the resources, all the training. And right now, I think the most underutilized thing that we have at EXP, but I think it's the thing that's going to carry us into the future, is the nucleus of our company, which is that metaverse, is that cloud office. How many of you go into that every day? Nobody. Oh, Ron, you're the only one. Ronnie? Ronnie goes in every day. What are you doing in there every day? Because I never go in there. Unmute yourself. What are you doing in there every day?
What? Well, if you'll see, even on my Instagram account, I've kind of learned how to play in there. So I do business, but I also go for boat rides. I go play soccer. I can dance on there. I can flip on there. So I just click.
So basically, you're wasting time and not selling houses, Ron.
I'm working. I've just found I now use as I'm going for a boat ride on my world in my social media.
I love it. I love it. Well, there are boats in there. There are lots of things you can do. And mainly, I think the neat thing is that, again, we have thousands of employees at our company. And the fact that we have eliminated office space, which is just a huge financial strain on any company, any traditional real estate company, it's just, we're so nimble, and so we have all of these people working from their desk at home, and they're sitting at their desk in the metaverse. You can go into accounting, you can go into the technology department, you can go in and see your broker, and you've got somebody literally sitting there because they have hours of operation. And I love that about the company. At first, it was a little weird getting used to, but once we realized how great it was, especially during COVID, while every other company was shutting down and every other company was not doing their big live events, we had 15,000 agents that attended our regularly scheduled, EXP cons and things like that. So I think we're still very early for where this company is going to go, but I love the technology here. So a lot of people will say we are a true technology company that happens to sell real estate. So the other second thing, my favorite thing at the company is our culture. And so somebody asked me the other day, why is it that EXP agents collaborate? Like what is it? Because there's so many people coming together. And when you think about it, I worked at Remax, I worked at a small independent firm in Michigan, I worked at Keller Williams, and I never saw that type of collaboration. Most agents walk around very guarded, they're not sharing, you have surface level conversations and masterminds. And the difference here is that, agents and people and humanity, typically, you look out for yourself first, right? You have to have self-preservation. So you're working for you and your family and to climb your mountain of success first. And so I think that it's sort of that dog eat dog mentality, because there's so many agents that you start to have this scarcity mindset. If I tell these people my secrets, then they're going to take away from me and my family. But at EXP, the actual thing that we get that other companies like frown upon and push down everyone's throats that is a negative is, the rev share and the stock. And the reality is the stock unites the company, because there are people on this call right now. I know, Sarah, you're one of them if you're still here. There are people on this call that are not part of Freedom Builders, but we've opened it up to everyone because Sarah is still part of EXP. Yes, she's not in our downline, but she is part of our EXP family. And so we want to bring her into our group. And, I've helped her with her listings and all the things. And she is a peer at our company. And I think every agent should be at EXP Realty. I don't care if they're under me or whatever. Obviously, we only have 1,100 of us in our group. There are 87,000 of our peers. So I think when I first got here, I got really bad advice. And the advice was, keep it very contained. This is your thing, and don't let other people in that are not in your downline. And that was the same scarcity mindset that we had at other companies. And so when we started to sort of, open it up, it just feels better, because there's no reason that Sarah should not be part of our mastermind just because she's not in our downline. She is an adopted Freedom Builder. So
thank you.
You're welcome. So I love that about our company. So the stock unifies everyone as an owner. We own the company together. We can go to shareholders and vote on things, and they actually do hear us at this company. And I mean, you can literally text Glenn Sanford and he will respond. Maybe now his assistant does, but he does respond. The other thing is the revenue share. So the revenue share is the piece of ownership that actually makes you feel, or makes me feel, like I have to wake up and I not only have call group agents and stuff in my world, and I have other agents as well that you know, we have to show up for. And so it keeps you accountable to moving forward in your business and growing something. And so I think the rev share and the stock unite us. That is what creates the culture, because it's a culture of win-win, true win-win. You are incentivized financially to help others. If they become more successful, so do you. To me, that actually makes sense as a true win-win. And I think, Amber, you were at Keller Williams too. They had the win-win. That's where I got it from. But what started to happen here is some of the top agents were always asked to give back, which we did. We were on the ALC and we did all the giving back, but it always felt like the more successful you became there, you were asked to give back, which is fine, but it almost took away from your team and your time, and you never felt, you know, compensated a little bit more equally. It was like, it was an unfair advantage for them to, you know, make us spend all that time training their people. And so here I feel like, yeah, we're doing it, but we're getting a little bit of compensation. So I love that about our culture. So what else? Compensation. So compensation for me, we have a unique compensation structure. So when you come into EXP, I think depending on the journey that you're in, and Judy talked about this, your business can change throughout time with real estate. If you come in as a brand new agent, you're probably not worried about recruiting and stock and all those things. You're probably just like, I need to learn to sell homes. But what I love is when you do think about where are you going to hang your license, you're hanging it at a company that gives you different opportunities at different levels of your career when you're ready to take a leadership role, when you're ready to invite other agents into the fold and give back your part of your brain so you can help them grow. So for me, it's a company that not only is great for a brand new agent that has tenacity, that is resourceful, that's not looking like a little bird in a nest, like feed me, feed me. You can't fail at this company if you actually have a little bit of tenacity and you're resourceful. Like, you have to show up, you have to come to these masterminds, you have to watch the recordings, you have to learn about the calendar, the training calendar that EXP has, and you actually have to have patience to sit and learn something. You know, because I think a lot of us, we're just naturally have the gift of gab, and the natural talent only gets you so far. And if you don't slow down to speed up, you're never going to get to that next level. And so I always loved being around other people, because I always grabbed a nugget and I said, what's the nugget that I can grab, but not only grab, but apply. You know, maybe a lot of you got a lot of ideas today. You got 50 from Amber, you got a bunch from Judy, like, but which one are you going to leave today and say, these are my two action steps? So I'm not like overwhelmed with all these great ideas. I'm going to literally take action on one or two. And just doing that, think about it, taking action on one thing every week, or one thing even every month, an initiative in your business. Think of how far ahead you'll be in 5 years if you actually took the action versus just eating the training like cotton candy and going, ooh, that was so fun. I got to meet with all these people and I learned all this stuff. Learning it doesn't do anything. It's the action behind the learning that actually gets us there. So, so anyway, I think the unique compensation models are there for when you need them. So do you have an agent that you're talking to on a cross deal? You know, I would look at that agent and think, can I build a relationship with this person? If I'm doing a deal with Alexis or Nada or Judy or Amber in my market, I'm not looking at them and going, can I recruit this person? Amber, I think, is the perfect example. I just thought she was so great on social media and I really liked her. I liked her style. I could tell she was a boss mom. You know, she loved to just get shit done. And so I was just always cheering her on because I just really thought I think, and I know she's awesome. And, you know, I said, we need to meet for lunch one day. And she's like, you're just going to try to recruit me. I'm like, no, I'm not. I want to be your friend. And then we did. We had lunch and things just transpired. But but it's just building, like, you attract the people in your tribe that you want to be around. So when you find an awesome real estate agent, be their friend, collaborate with them, invite them to things like this, and keep pouring into them. And if they like what you're offering, then they will bring up the idea of maybe joining the company. That's on them. So that's how I recruited, through relationships, not so much cold calling agents. That is not my style, even though I can cold call sellers and buyers and things like that. I like doing that because it's a fast result. So great compensation models. And the last thing I want to talk about is, before we wrap up, is luxury. So we have a great luxury program for agents that are a little more seasoned. Some of you are new on here. So you have to sell 3 $1 million properties in a 2-year period to be accepted into the luxury program. So when you think about luxury and you think about what we can offer from a luxury perspective, I want to show you guys, for the ones that haven't seen it. This is the luxury listing presentation. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. So when you're out with a customer that's in a luxury price point, so think $750 or above, typically. Judy, what's luxury considered in your market in Utah?
Over $1 million, because our average is about 6.
6, and our average is about 5 here in the Triangle. So about over $1 million is probably luxury here. Amber, what about you? What would you say luxury is in your market?
750.
750, and I think that's what it used to be in Raleigh. I was like, anything that was 750, I wanted to have a more luxury presentation. So a luxury seller, the differentiator is going to be the photography you take, how you present yourself. I hate to say it, but it's how you look. It's sort of what you drive. I mean, if you pull up in a car from 1980 with a dented bumper, you know, I would not work with a financial advisor that pulled up to my house and had, you know, a car that was falling apart. I would be like, oh, I'd be a little nervous, right? So you want to think about that elevated service. They're looking for an elevated service experience. They're looking for, you know, really somebody that is knowledgeable and can provide them the experience, but mainly the exposure. That's where I felt like I had a competitive edge. Is I used to show them this presentation. Now EXP has adopted this presentation as their go-to service. So anything over 750 will have you know, access to literally marketing all over the globe. So if I'm going up against a Compass agent, I know that Compass is only in 26 national US markets. That's it. We're in all 50 states, every single MLS. We're in 22 countries. So I can give my presentation and basically tell a seller that I'm going to be able to put them in the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to put them in the DuPont Registry. I'm going to put them in the Robb Report. I'm going to put them in uniquehomes.com, Mansions Global, Upmarket, and the New York Times. And the neat thing about this is I'm going to tell them that, hey, I'm going to expose you to millions and millions of people that have a net worth of over, you know, $2 million or more that are looking at these publications on a daily basis. So your home is going to have more exposure, and eXp Realty can deliver that. And I think that's really important as all of you grow in the markets that you're in, to have a presentation that is very upscale looking, but also creates impact from a syndication standpoint, from a scalability standpoint, and from an international advertising standpoint. We also have, we put them in the IMLS, which is the international MLS, over 1 million listings on there in 70 plus countries. And finally, Juway.com, which is China's #1 largest property site. So I want you guys to know that when you're ready, the luxury piece there, you can actually use that for anything 750 or over. But in our for our company website, EXP will market anything $1 million or more at our expluxury.com website. So so I love our luxury program. It's $2,500 for the year. Each month we have a mastermind where all the luxury agents come together, and we have some really fabulous luxury agents. One of our luxury agents just sold a $30 million, I think it was $34 million house in New York. So great program. And any questions about luxury or anything EXP related, I'm gonna open it up to you guys.
Yes,
Anything?
Bonnie, I have one. Do you think that since the average on that can get down to say the 750, because we're in that luxury market too of probably being about 758. But do you think that'll come down?
Right now, Ronnie, I mean, you can actually market, you can use that marketing presentation at 750. The only thing you're not gonna get is you're not gonna get it syndicated on the EXP Luxury website, but you don't really have to mention that to the seller. You can just use that whole listing presentation and let them know that they will be syndicated 750 plus. So that actually will syndicate and go out. The only site it will not be on right now, just from a technology standpoint, they're trying to figure it out, is expluxury.com, which is a small site. It doesn't have enough SEO to make it a big deal anyway. And it's not like we're Zillow and people are running to expluxury.com. It's just a fun site to show a buyer. It's a fun site to show a seller over $1 million, because then you can pitch it and use it as, hey, we're one office with 87,000 agents, unlike Keller Williams or Compass. Every office is individually owned. So those agents are segmented and they don't know each other. They don't have relationships where I just got a message in my inbox at Workplace from a guy in France, and he said, hey, I'd love to collaborate on luxury. So now I'm talking to my peers at my own company in France who wants to exchange data. So I think it's just whoever you're pitching, leverage it if it's a good thing to say, but if it's 750 and it's not going to be in there, just don't mention it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So as long as you qualify and you want to pay the $2,500 to get into the program, great. The other difference is that those publications, I used to pay about $800 to $1,000 a listing to be put into that program. And so if I had 10 listings, it would cost me $8,000 to $10,000. With EXP for the $2,500, you get 10 listings. So you can syndicate 10 for $2,500, which is $250 a listing, which is well worth it. And that presentation alone, every time we've used it, the seller says, we picked you because you gave us the most exposure and you had a really good presentation. So the sellers are really like loving that presentation. If that makes sense?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
So even to get it into the marketing program, you have to qualify with the 3 sales above $1 million.
You have to qualify to get into the program, yes.
So are there any backdoor ways to get in?
Yeah, well, you have to take, if you take there's 3 certifications they have on there that you have to pay additionally to, just like the CHLMS or whatever.
Right.
That. So but you also have to qualify to take that one. But I think there's a couple others where if you don't qualify and you want to get into luxury, you take those. And I believe, don't quote me on this, and I will double check, I believe that can push you into the program, but there's something in there that they're just tweaking. We're about 90% done with the program because they launched it way too soon. So that's one piece let me check on and get the answer.
So if you are certified luxury home marketing specialist, that's a possibility? It's
a possibility, but there was something that you weren't going to get because it's not fair to allow you into the program and then let you, you know what I mean? Like.
So how about the situation where, you were a franchise owner, an office owner, multiple offices, and your offices sold multiple million or above? I
think it's you and your production. Yeah. It's you and your production. Because they really, there's a lot of luxury agents, they only sell luxury and they've got their nose up in the air and they're only luxury and they come from New York or, California and they're like, no, I do 5 million plus. Why are these people with $750,000 sales in here? And so they can be a pretty cutthroat crowd. So we're trying to make it very inclusive and then help people have, a way to get into the program to learn more about luxury. But the best way you can break into luxury is call an expired listing, call it for sale by owner, call these people in those price ranges and get your first listing in luxury.
Well, that's my point, because, we have such strong market share in this area. It's not necessarily $1 million or above.
Correct.
But it's a way for us to leverage that.
Correct.
That's what I'm looking at. So it's still uncertain what might be done.
I'll find that out for you and I'll post it in our Freedom Builders group. That is a great question, but there is something there that's like, you can't do this, but you can't take the, the certification. I will look. The last thing, I'm gonna wrap it up, but the last thing I wanna leave you guys with is this graph, okay? Because here's the thing. We hear a lot about Real, we hear a lot about Canzel, we hear a lot about LPT. We have so many knockoff brands that are coming out in a cloud-based space that are saying they're the better EXP. But I wanna leave you guys with this because I was talking to a guy yesterday and he said, well, but this brand is a ground floor opportunity. Guys and gals, this is the entire world. There are 6 million agents on the planet right now. It's estimated 6 million agents. That mark right here is cloud-based brokerages, and the dark area is EXP, right? The little light area is all the other competitors that are trying to come out and be EXP. We are a ground floor opportunity too, when you think about that. Like, we are half the size of Keller Williams. We have massive growth. So you guys are all like literally on the ground of what's growing. NADA is in Canada. There's like 2,000 agents in Canada. So, I mean, like, we are so little that other competitors are going to use that against us because we have 87,000. We are the leaders in the cloud-based space. So when people start to talk in that chatter, remind yourselves that there are 6 million agents and we have 87,000. I hope that makes sense. So go out there, go sell lots of homes. I hope that was impactful today. Amber, thank you for all your amazing nuggets and contribution. Judy, thank you as always. And I hope we see you guys back next week. Are we on next week? Oh,
We're off next
we're
week.
off next week. We're on the week after.
Yes.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
See you.